Hello gamers, this is Joseph Kyle Rogan with Liminoid Games, and today I'm going to teach you how to play the solo variant of Attack of the Pirates, our new unofficial fan-made expansion for Star Wars Rivals. Let's get started. I've already got the game materials out, ready for solo mode, and I'll show you exactly how to set everything up in a moment. But first, I want to point out that I'm using a customized version of Attack of the Pirates inspired by Hondo Ohnaka and his Weequay pirate gang. The sticker sheets available on liminoidgames.com have generic placeholder images, flavor text, and names so that you can customize them to your own preferences. My daughter Patience, who did the layout and graphic design for this expansion, was kind enough to make all of these images for me. You can find photos of these customizations on the Liminoid Games website. I've also made another video showing you exactly how you can customize everything yourself. But right now, just know that the artwork and names on these cards and tokens will not match yours. I'm also using this special figure to represent the Pirate King and Pirate Mascot character. Now, this is Hondo Ohnaka from the game Star Wars Miniatures by Wizards of the Coast. I believe he's figure number 36 in the Galaxy at War expansion, but I really like this figure because it's not just Hondo Ohnaka, but also his pet Kowakian monkey lizard, Pilf Mukmuk, which matches the intent I had when designing the game. You know, if you don't already have a copy of this figure, I don't recommend going out and buying one just for this expansion because it currently costs about $50 on eBay. You can find 3D printed minis of Hondo on Etsy for much less. Or there's a new figure of Hondo Ohnaka in the game Shatterpoint. Now, let's get to the setup. The first thing you want to do is set out the 3 location markers facing you. In a regular 2-player competitive game of Star Wars Rivals, these would be oriented horizontally, but in this expansion, everything is vertical so you can read everything easily. Make sure the location marker for location 2 is flipped to the side with the single pawn in the corner, not the 2 pawns in the corner. Next, take the location deck, shuffle it, and deal 1 location under each marker face up, just like a regular game, and set the rest of the deck off to the right. Now note, I'm using location cards from both Series 1 and Series 2, as well as the 2 custom locations made for this expansion. I'm also leaving a bit of space between the cards and the location markers, because this is where the Pirate Grunt tokens will be spawning. Now, I've already got an effect happening right here. It says when this location is revealed, both players draw up to 2 action cards. Now, this is a new card from the 2nd series, and so I don't exactly know whether this would be triggered at the very beginning of the game. However, I will say that the pirate team in this game is not a player, so this pirate team is not going to be drawing up to 2 action cards. So let's assume that this does trigger at the very beginning of the game, and so only the players will be drawing up to 2 action cards. So that means my initial opening hand should be 5 cards. Okay, so we've got the locations out. Next, we take the 7 action cards that belong to the pirate team. We shuffle them and deal 1 face down above each location marker. Then we set the rest off to the right. Now this deck includes the 3 Pirate Grunt cards, the 3 Pirate King cards, and the Pirate Mascot card. There we go. I'm also going to place the Pirate King and Pirate Mascot character card up here at the top and place my special figure on the card. And if you don't have a figure, you can also just use the Pirate King and Pirate Mascot token that comes with the sticker sheets. Now I can set up my team underneath everything just like I would in a regular game of 2 players. Notice I'm using the new Series 2 characters, mainly just so that I can see how they play. I've got my influence tokens, my influence loss tokens off to one side, as well as my dice tower and my Kyber crystal location die. Down here is my custom back to tank card I made with Patience, and the high ground marker right here always begins on the dark red pirate side. Finally, before I start, I'm going to make sure I've got all 18 of the Pirate Grunt tokens in my opaque bag. Now, this is just a simple jewelry pouch I got from a craft store, and my wife was kind enough to cut out the Ohnaka Gang logo in iron-on vinyl and press it onto the bag for me. Anyway, I've got just the 18 pirate grunt tokens in here. Note that the pirate king and pirate mascot token is not in the bag. It's off to the side because I'm using the figure instead. Now I'm going to reach inside the bag, randomly grab 3 tokens, and place 1 token above each location. So here is a 2-point Weequay pirate, a 1-point Weequay pirate, and a 2-point. Now, of course, mine say Weequay pirates. In the generic version of the game, they're simply called pirate grunts. Now I'm ready to draw my own action cards. I don't have any holograms on my team, so that means I'm going to be drawing 3 cards, but I will draw an extra 2 cards for the feed generator. Might as well. So my opening hand right here is 5 cards. Now we're ready to begin the game. Like I said, the high ground marker always starts on the dark red pirate side, but the pirate team never deploys any characters during the deploy step. That means I can choose to deploy my characters to the locations however I want, in any order that I want. Okay, now at this point, I could choose to score Dedra Miro's mission. It says score from hand if there is 1 enemy at each location, which I do have exactly 1 enemy at each location. However, I'm going to wait to do that because this might be the card that I want to play. So I'm going to now deploy my characters. This character right here, Freetown, is probably going to be the most important to have a high influence character at because it's got a 2-point pirate grunt here and it's worth 4 points. Bib Fortuna is the next highest. I'm going to send Bib Fortuna to the feed generator, and I'll send the Shore Trooper squad leader to Jabba's sail barge. And it says when I deploy a character here, I draw 1 action card. And there we go. I've got another Dedra Miro card. Okay, next I roll the location die as normal to see which locations will score. All right, looks like all 3 locations are going to score. That so far is working out for me. Now, I'm going to choose my action card and play it face down in front of me. I am going to use Dedra Miro's It's Too Spread Out to Be Organized to place an influence loss token on 1 enemy at each location. So I'm going to place this face down in front of me. And at this point, the pirate team plays the action card above location 1. The other 2 cards are considered to be in the pirate's hand. Just like in a normal game, we'll start with whoever has the high ground and reveal and resolve each action card. When the pirate card is revealed, I simply follow the instructions. The words opponent and enemy refer to me and my characters, and if a choice ever has to be made for the pirate team, I get to make it. So let's see what card the pirate team played. Here we go. I've done this many times and I've only been struck. I've done this many times. So this is one of the Pirate King's cards, and it says, you may remove up to 3 Weequay pirates from a single location. If you do, add that number of influence loss tokens to enemies at that location in any combination. So now, if I do that, I wouldn't be able to score Dedra Miro's mission card, but that's okay. I can't score it anyway because it's right here. So the question is do I want to get rid of one of these in exchange for putting an influence loss token onto a character? And it looks like that probably would be a good trade-off right here to get rid of this 2-point pirate grunt token to add 1 influence loss token to Dedra Miro. So I'm going to make that decision. I'm going to add an influence loss token to Dedra Miro, and I'm going to remove this Weequay pirate or pirate grunt token, and it goes right back into the bag. Now I get to play my card right here. I'm going to place an influence loss token on 1 enemy at each location. So this Weequay pirate gets an influence loss token, and so does this one. There we go. Now we score locations as normal. So in numeric order, first Freetown is going to score. I have 4 points of influence, so I get the Freetown location. At feed generator, I've got 4 points of influence to 0 points of influence over here, so I score the feed generator. And right here, I have 3 points of influence to the pirate team's 1 point of influence. And I scored that location as well. Now it's the end of round, and we go through the standard cleanup steps with just a few changes. I'm going to discard my action card and draw back up to 3 cards. Of course, I already have 5 cards in my hand, so I don't need to draw anything. Then I'll return my characters to their cards. But I'm going to leave all of the pirate team characters right where they are. I'm going to replace the location cards just like normal. Here we go. Coruscant Entertainment District, Great Pit of Carcoon, and Aldani Base. Then the action card played by the pirate team is discarded, and all of the pirate team cards get shifted to the left to fill in the empty spaces above the location markers. I draw a card for the pirate team and place it face down over location marker 3. And finally, I flip the high ground marker to the black and white player side. At this point, a new round begins, and there's really just one more big rule you need to be aware of. If, at the beginning of a round, right before deployment, there are any pirate team characters that have 0 influence or are at an empty location marker because we ran out of cards to replace them, then those characters are removed from the game. So this pirate grunt token has 0 influence. It will be removed from the game. The influence loss token goes back to the pile, and the pirate grunt token goes back to the bag. Now remember, this only happens at the beginning of each round. Okay, those are the basics. Now to give you an idea of how the game plays, let's keep going and see if we can win this. All right, so first I'm going to deploy my characters. It looks like I'm not necessarily going to want to move anybody here to the Great Pit of Carcoon just yet because it will send characters to the back to tank. But I do want to send characters to Aldani Base right here. So I'm going to put 2 characters at Aldani Base and 1 character over here at Coruscant Entertainment District. And now we'll roll the die to see what is going to score. So just locations 2 and 3. Okay, so now I choose my card that I'm going to play. Okay, I'm going to play Bib Fortuna's Nejava no Parta. 1 ally at Bib Fortuna's location has +2 influence this round. In addition, ignore all influence loss on that ally this round. That should help pump up Dedramiro and give me a little bit of protection in case the pirate team puts a bunch of influence loss tokens on these characters. So I'll play that face down. Now, because I have the high ground, I'm going to reveal and resolve this card first. So that means I'm going to ignore this for this round, and that means Dedramiro's influence is going to go up to 7, and I've got a total of 11 influence points at this location. The pirate team now gets to play their card. And it's insolence. We are pirates. We don't even know what that means. Place 1 Weequay pirate at each location. So this is one of the pirate grunt cards. I've of course changed the names and referred to them as Weequay pirates. So there's 1 pirate grunt. Here is 2nd pirate grunt, and here is a 3rd pirate grunt, and this one is a 3-point pirate grunt. That's okay because I still have I still have plenty of influence over here. So now we move into scoring, and lucky for me, Great Pit of Carcoon says before scoring, move the lowest influence character here to the back to tank. That would be this Weequay pirate. Now, of course, the pirate team does not have a back to tank, so if any of the pirate team characters would be removed to the back to tank, instead they're removed from the game. And so this goes back into the bag. So nobody is going to score the Great Pit of Carcoon, and I get to score Aldani Base. So right now we're doing very, very well, but the number of pirate grunts has increased. So now it's the end of the round. I'm going to return all of my characters back to their cards. Going to discard my card in play, and if I had less than 3 cards, I would draw up to those 3 cards. I'm going to leave these characters here and replace the location card. There we go, Darth Vader's Meditation Chamber. If you score this location, you may remove all influence loss from a character here. Now, it's important to note that all of these triggers that happen when a location is scored, those never trigger for the pirate team. Those only trigger for the player team. Okay, the pirate team's card is also discarded. These get moved over, and a new card is played there, and high ground flips back to the pirate side. And now we go into deployment. Okay, so I think my plan is going to be to use the Shore Trooper squad leader in this location. So I'll send the squad leader over here, but I think he's also going to need some backup from either Bib Fortuna or Dedramiro. Dedramiro already has an influence loss token on her, and so I'll move her over here where it's a little bit more dangerous with both of these guys, and I'll send Bib Fortuna over here to the Coruscant Entertainment District. Now let's roll the die to see which locations are going to score. All right, just the highest point, so just the great hit of Carcoon. So in that case, maybe I don't want to play that card. Okay, I still am going to play this card because I'd like to be able to get rid of that pirate card token. So I'll play that face down anyway. All right, now it's the pirate turn. It says this effort is no longer profitable. If Hondo Naka, or the Pirate King, is at a location, remove him and all influence loss tokens on him from the game, then add 3 Weequay Pirates, or Pirate Grunts, to that location. Otherwise, add 2 Weequay Pirates to each location that will score this round. So that would only be this one. So we're going to put 2 of the Pirate Grunt tokens on this location. So here we go. Here is 1, and here is 2. And so the pirate team is going to score that location. However, they're also going to lose a token for doing so. All right, and I'm going to now enact my card. It says, if an enemy at Shore Trooper Squad Leader's location has any influence loss tokens on them, like this one does, move them to the back to tank. So I'm going to remove that from the game and put this guy back in the bag. Now we move on to scoring. The pirate team gets to score the Great Pit of Carcoon, and nothing else scores. So I'm going to return Bib Fortuna and Dedra and Shore Trooper. Going to discard my card. I now have 3 cards in hand. I still don't get to draw. I'm going to replace that location card right here, Jabba's Throne Room. When you deploy a Scoundrel here, place an influence loss on an enemy here. Awesome. Bib Fortuna is a Scoundrel, so I think I know where he's going to go. I'm going to put this card into that discard pile, move these all down. There we go. And flip the high ground marker right over there. Awesome. So I'm definitely going to deploy Bib Fortuna here and immediately place an influence loss token on this Weequay Pirate token to get rid of it. I think I'm going to send Dedra Miro right over here and hopefully score that so that I can get rid of her influence loss. And I think she probably needs some backup, so I'm going to send the Shore Trooper leader there just in case, so I can deal with that 3-point Weequay Pirate right there. Okay, at this point, I'm going to play Dedra Miro's The Very Worst Thing You Could Do Right Now Is Bore Me. Because I'm a little worried that this card is going to be one of the more powerful ones, since I've seen some relatively weak cards come through here. And so I want to get rid of it and replace it with a card that will allow me to get rid of this guy by putting an influence loss token on Dedra, because she's going to lose all of hers if we score that this time. So here we go. Let's first, though, roll this die and see what's going to happen. All right, only 1 and 2, so only these 2. So I'm actually not going to do that right now. Or I guess maybe I could. Yeah, I think I will do it. So I am going to play this, okay? And that means I'm going to discard whatever this card is. That is for each enemy, add influence loss token to that enemy, and then place 1 Weequay Pirate at that enemy's location. Okay, so yes, that would have been quite devastating over here, but instead, we're going to discard that, and we are going to replace it with the very first card that we saw, which is going to allow us to remove some Weequay Pirates from a single location. So I'm going to remove this guy right here and place a single influence loss token back on Dedra, but that's okay, because when I score that, hopefully next round, I will be able to remove those from Dedra. Okay, so now Bib Fortuna has 4 influence right here, and the pirate team only has 2. So we move to scoring. They unfortunately get the Coruscant Entertainment District, but I get Jabba's Throne Room, and nobody scores this location. All right, so let's return my characters. Let's discard my action card. This time I will draw up to 3 cards. Going to replace the location cards. There we go. Mos Eisley Cantina. Scoundrels have +2 influence. Definitely know where I'm sending Bib Fortuna. Aldera Royal Palace. When a character is deployed here, remove an influence loss token from them. And now I'm going to discard this. Move these cards down. And I will flip the high ground token. Now it's the beginning of the round, and so this Weequay Pirate right here has 0 influence, so he will be removed from the game. And now I can go to deploying. So definitely going to deploy Bib Fortuna there. Definitely going to deploy Dedra Miro right there. And again, I think that Shore Trooper is going to need a little bit of backup, or Dedra is going to need a little backup right there with Shore Trooper. So let's once again roll the die and see what's going to score. All right, 1 and 3, perfect for me. Don't need to worry about that one in the middle. Okay, so now let's see what I can play. All right, I'm going to use Shore Trooper Squad Leaders card. I'll ask the questions right here, okay? Play that face down. Pirate team gets to resolve first. All right, it is Pilf Muck Muck, also known as the pirate mascot. Are these what you were looking for, Jedi? Take a card with the highest value from the opponent's score pile and score it. So they are stealing one of my locations from the score pile, and looks like that's going to be 5. So I'll take Jabba's throne room and place that over here into the pirates' score pile. That can be pretty devastating. That was a 10-point swing right there. All right, now, here we go. Look at your opponent's hand, choose one card from it, and place it in their discard pile. So these 2 cards right here are the pirate team's hand. So I'm going to flip those over face up to see what they are. Got a Pirate Grunt card and a Pirate King card. Now, if the card I choose is a mission, he would get extra influence, but it's not. This is the only mission in the Pirates deck. Otherwise, place 2 influence loss tokens on that card's character. So I'm going to discard a Pirate Grunt card so that I can choose a Pirate Grunt to put 2 influence loss tokens on. Right there. There we go. Awesome. I'm going to keep this one face up just so that I can remember exactly what it is. And now we move on to scoring. So here I've got 6 influence to 1, so I get Mos Eisley Cantina. Aldera Royal Palace doesn't score, and I was able to score Darth Vader's Meditation Chamber because there are no influence from the pirate team right there, which means I get to remove all influence loss tokens from Dedra Miro. Doing fairly well right now. All right, it's the end of the round, so I'm going to discard my card and draw back up to 3. I will replace the locations. There we go. This is one of the custom locations here for the Attack of the Pirates game. It says Weequay Pirates, also known as Pirate Grunts, have +1 influence here. And here is the other custom location. When this location is revealed, place 2 Pirate Grunts or Weequay Pirates here. So they're both 6-point locations. There's a 1-point Weequay Pirate and a 2-point Weequay Pirate. All right, I return my characters to their cards. This is going now from this point on, all 3 locations are going to score. I'm no longer rolling the die because I've run out of location cards. This card is discarded. I move this card down, and then I shuffle this and return them to the deck. There we go. And place cards right there and there. Okay, so I know what's going to happen this turn. I'm going to flip this over, and it's the beginning of the round, and this guy is removed from the game because he has 0 influence. All right, and it says, I may not be as young as I once was, but I'm older. This is the Pirate King's card that places the Pirate King into play. It says, place or move Hondo Ohnaka to a location with the highest point value that is scoring, then remove all influence loss from Hondo Ohnaka. All right, so there are going to be 2 high locations here. The Pirate King is not a Pirate Grunt, so he will not get the bonus right here from this location. All right, so let's see here. Well, how do I want to deploy? I know what's going to happen from the pirate team, so they're going to have a total of 6 influence right here, and I really just care about these 2 locations. This one will not score because they don't have anything right there. So if I send Bib Fortuna and Shore Trooper, sorry, they're going to actually have 7 influence right there. I've got the high ground, so I will be winning on ties. So I'm going to send 7 right there, and I'll send Dedra right there. Excellent. You know what? I'm going to try and score Bib Fortuna's location, his mission. So instead, I'm going to deploy Bib Fortuna right there so I can play He's No Jedi, move him to this location, score it, and then score Bib's mission. So I'll play that for this round. Okay, so now let's do that. Yeah, I've got the high ground, so I resolve first. I move Bib Fortuna right there. Enemy force users have 0 influence this round. That doesn't really matter. Now this card is resolved. Hondo Onaka shows up here at Hondo's complex, giving them a total of 7. And now we move into scoring. So I get to score Hondo's complex right there. And that means I get to score Bib Fortuna's mission right there. Dedra will score the hijacked Crucible right there. And now we move into the end of the round. So it looks like I've done fairly well at this game. Let's just play it out just to see what happens here. Okay, so I discard my card and I draw up to 3. Only got 1 card in my deck, so I draw that and I'm going to shuffle here. There we go, and draw a 3rd card. Okay, there are no locations to replace right here. This card, however, is discarded. These slide over, and I draw a new card to replace it. And I flip this to the pirate team side. Now, it's the beginning of a round, and because there are no locations at these 2 location markers, all of these characters are removed from game. So the Pirate King goes back to his card. Pirate fronts go back into the bag, and now I'm going to deploy all 3 of my characters to Aldera Royal Palace. If they had any influence loss on them, I'd be removing them. Looks like we're doing really, really well. Okay, so I don't need to roll the die. I know that's going to score. Pirate team is going to play that card first. So what am I going to do? All right, so I guess really the only thing I can do is play the Shore Troopers card, which will give him +2 influence this round. So let's see what the pirate team is going to do. It says add an influence loss to each enemy for every weak way pirate at that enemy's location. There are none there. Shore Trooper gets +2, and I score Aldera Royal Palace, and it looks like I've won this quite handily with 3, 9, 12, 18, 21, 27, 32, 35, 39, 43 to 14 points. So that was a bit of a blowout here. I've never played with these characters before, and I suspected that they would do fairly well in the solo variant, which is why I chose them, and it looks like I was right. Their abilities matched up very well against the pirate team. Well, that's the game. There are a few tricky interactions here and there, and there are a handful of cards that need extremely slight errata to work properly, but this should be enough for your first solo game. If you ever run into any problems, the rulebook is much more detailed than this video and contains an extensive FAQ section. I hope you have as much fun playing this game as we did making it. So for now, I'm Joseph Kyle Rogan with Liminoid Games, signing off. See you next time, gamers.